Hello and welcome to another CF Tech Talking podcast. You've got myself, Darren Stanforth, and Dave. You're here as well, aren't you?
Dave Austin, I'm here. Yeah. I'm recording. I have my headphones on.
He's doing all the work. So this is the quite easy bit because all I have to do is remember the talking bit.
But you do that quite well. You seem to be quite adept at that sort of thing. But we got another one with us today. Who's a bit of a talker.
Who's a bit of a talker? Yeah, we're used to this. Jake Green, you're with us. Hello,
mate.
I am
indeed. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, guys.
No, thank you very much for coming along. We've been waiting, trying to get you along, but you've been a busy boy, haven't you?
I have. I've been all over the country doing various different things, from apprentice competitions to seeing consultants and engaging with people. It's been lovely, but it's been a long slog recently, especially with the amendment changes.
Yeah, so this is all for Scolmore, isn't it?
It is, yeah, indeed. So the whole group. So we look after the Scolmore group, which is Click, which is the wiring accessories. We've got the Ovia looking after the lighting. We've got Unicrimp looking after your commodity products such as your tape, your clips, your screws, and then we've got ESP looking after the fire and security as well.
So your role then, see if I can remember what you do. So your role. Hold on a minute. Yeah, your role is across all the group, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So you get to see and experience everything that's going on, and there's lots going on, isn't there? The one thing that really impressed me, and you can confirm that this is still happening, is there's always something new coming out of Scolmore, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. It normally sort of slows down in the middle part of the year because we like to try and sort of catch each season. So it's when we're looking at lighting and wire-wise, we're sort of back end of the year, and then we sort of filter the new products at the beginning of the year, ready for everyone to sort of fit them throughout the year, as it were. But yeah, no, certainly it's always something happening. There's always new products. Either we're tweaking and changing our existing products, or launching some innovative.
So Consumits was something new when I was over at the Scolmore. Consumits was launched and something, but has the Second Amendment caused you any problems there?
No, we had the out fault detection devices, which is sort of really imminent, sort of next weekish. So by the time I imagine this goes out, they'll be out on the shelves.
Yeah.
They haven't really caused us any problems. It's just more about education, really, and telling people what they can and can't do. And similar to what you've been doing at the Tech Talks, is what I've been doing across the rest of the country and sort of picking up the smaller bunch of people.
So we've been going around talking lots about the requirements for AFDs
and also consumer units and the fact that their role is going to change and enhance. I mean, what plans have you got that we can talk about for the?
What can we talk about? We know there's going to be change. Definitely, we're sort of, especially with Part 8 coming in relatively new. We're seeing that's sort of going to evolve when it comes to consumer units and the way that they operate. We're sort of flirting with the idea of looking at dual sources, well, not dual sources, but dual AC and DC.
Yeah. It's got to be huge. It's going to be a growth area, isn't it? Massive.
Yeah, massively. It's I think it's probably sort of 5 to 6 years away before we see the real drive for it, and we're just sort of getting to grips with it really, and trying to make sure that we're ahead of the curve when it comes to those types of things.
If you think about it, it's natural, isn't it? We've got the PV generating at DC that chucks it down into the installation. We then turn it back into AC to go onto my DC LED downlights. Yeah. So it's natural, isn't it, that we stop doing all this and just take it and push DC back out. I think a lot of lighting circuits out there now could be DC.
Oh, easily,
without a doubt.
Easily, yeah. And there's definitely a need for it when you think about the switching of it as well, and the controls and all that sort of stuff. It's all low voltage, with all of a sudden we don't need to worry about protective devices and the like with that as well.
It's one of the things I noticed when we're talking about it. It's almost joining those dots, and there's like, oh yeah, of course, we're doing all that AC/DC conversion. Why do it in the first place?
Penny drops with a lot of people in the audience when we start to talk about it, isn't it? Especially battery technology now as well, Jake. Battery technology is going to be massive. We talk about Part 8, but we've got a great topic talking about battery installations and how you can install them, and that's going to be a big driver for you guys that make consumer units.
Yeah, it's just really sort of piecing it all together, as Dave's mentioned there, just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and actually thinking about outside of the box. Let's not think about what we've always done. Let's sort of really go for it and think about what can be.
I don't think there's ever been a better time to step away from the convention and say, right, let's rethink this whole thing. I mean, from the grid right down, the DSOs, the whole thing has got to be rethought, and that's what Part 8 started to point us towards, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we need a bit more development on the Part 8 to sort of just
a bit more substance would be nice,
light on tech to really enforce it and drive it forward. There's got to be something in the regulations that go, right, contractors need to do this, and all of a sudden you start creating that drive then, because contractors are getting focused on it. They're thinking about like, what's the next thing off the back of that as well. I just think when you look at battery storage and PV and all that coming together, people are just sort of sitting there waiting and going, I know it's coming, but when do I actually need to sort of think about this?
How's a big thing. I mean, we know, me and you talk, Dave, about the two drivers for changing regulations. One is circumstance and the other one is innovation. It needs people like this to be the innovative team that they are, to bring new options to us, and then the regulations will reflect.
But you've almost got the perfect combination of those two. We've got innovation, which is the technology that's coming, but we've got world circumstance, energy needs is driving it hard. The way that the COVID drove online Zooming,
and
brought it forward 4 or 5 years. I think what's happening in the world right now is bringing the need for local generation very, very rapidly to our doorsteps.
Yeah, like I say, it's just we go back probably 7-8 years ago, and you look at the PV market, everybody went mental for it because you had the feed-in tariffs.
Different reason.
It was a financial reason, wasn't it?
You know, when they were first installing these panels, they were sort of 16-18 grand systems.
Yes.
By the time I sort of stopped installing them, they were down to 4 or 5 grand.
Yeah.
And you almost need it at that price, but with a good incentive. And the incentive now is the
cost
energy
of energy
price.
Absolutely.
Reducing them big bills coming through, aren't you? So consumers for you are changing quite a lot, and you're looking to do them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got ours here. So we've got the Illusion range that we're seeing.
So
nearly coming up for a year old now. You know, it's a good consumer unit. It's well thought out. There's been a lot of thought, a lot of feedback from contractors. We've got the arc fault detection device coming. So we're sort of making a move into that space. And again, we need to sort of not get ahead of the curve because everybody's sort of moving into free phase and bits and bobs like that. But we need to start thinking a bit more as an own range opposed to it just being a domestic 100 amp consumer unit. We need to think, right, okay, we can see what's coming. Maybe we need a free phase system that's going to go into a domestic setting because of the way that we're consuming energy, especially when we think about maybe, you know, air conditioning units and bits like that as well.
Yeah, we can see more of them, aren't we?
Which you mentioned, by the way, there's a little bit of noise going on in the background. That's our glorious technical team taking the set down as we leave here in Nottingham and head off to Leeds.
Yes, if you'll hear any bumps and bits and bobs and screams, and that's them trying to take the set down. Now, you brought up some other bits and bobs, Jake, because there's always, as we said, always new stuff coming out of Scotland. What have you got new to show us?
It's not necessarily new. It's just a couple of bits when it comes to the flat plate. We've seen the launch of the metal face plates now.
This is all your screwless plates, is it?
Yeah, all the screwless stuff. We've got the Definity parts here, the new white metal, the new black metal as well. Plus all the other stuff. We can see we've got a grey insert on some of the bits here, which is proving very popular at the moment.
Black's the way to go, isn't it? People like a black one.
That's a very groovy red one as well. That fused.
So the black plates there, you've got they again the screwless technology that people are seeing. These are, I mean, we know, Jake, through working together in the past. You'd be surprised. White is not always white.
No.
Tell my wife.
There's two different whites or three different whites.
There are millions of whites.
I mean, you can see at the bottom here that this is the plastic one and then this is the metal one. I'm not sure it'll pick up on the camera, but it's very slightly.
You can see a huge difference. There's more
people can pick
pearlescent
up on these on your website, can't they? If they wanted to go and have a look at these.
What's on the back? Let's have a look at the connections there. So we got.
This is one of our demo boards that goes.
Can we ask you something then?
Yes.
Right. Have you thought about going screwless?
Screwless. You got screwless fronts, so you're going to go screwless backs.
It's a thought, but when we start to look at the market at the moment, we've got the professional electrician, and we don't really want to take that away from them. So it sits there at the moment with the screwed. Is it something that we're thinking about? Yeah, of course. You know, we sort of need to move with the times. We saw the drive, and certainly from when I was on the tools, you know, moved away from typical connectors to either push fit or lever connectors, and it sped things up definitely. It's just the tooling costs on the back of things like this. You know, it's an expensive project to run. Look, we won't say never because we always like to think that we will sort of meet what everyone else is doing or think of something new. So we'll never say never, but it's not something.
I think there's a lot of the market still likes the traditional idea. Actually, I mean, it's a very much a divided market right now.
Yeah,
it is. You're
catering for that bit.
What I'm hearing is you're either in that camp or you're not.
Yeah,
and that's it. It is there's no. Yeah, I'll give them some. I'll try them on some jobs, but not on others. Right. Either you do or you don't. Like Marmite.
Well, even if you looked at our flow connectors that we use across the Ovia or across the Click range. we've got the screw terminal and we've got the push fit, and we sell them exactly the same price, and they're still 50-50.
Is that right?
Still 50-50. So
no better market research on that, is there?
yeah.
So Ovia is something new, isn't it? So Ovia, what's Ovia doing then? Ovia's the light inside, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, Ovia's growing, constantly growing. That's only going to get bigger. We're sort of making good strides. We've got the spec team that are sort of pushing it heavily into the spec world. And as you've mentioned, we'll always sort of be thinking of new ideas and new products. So we'll probably see something back end of the year when there's some new products added into the catalogues. And I think one of the things that we've certainly learned over the last edition of the catalogue, so issue 3, is now we're in a position where we can actually offer a full solution when it comes to lighting. And we're not just got bits and bobs. We've just got, oh, that's a nice fitting. Yeah, but we want to take the range. Where's the rest of the stuff?
Do you find that's increasingly a requirement that people come for total solutions? They don't want just part solutions to their things.
Unless you're in the bespoke market, and people are asking for bespoke light fittings, then typically, people will say, we'll I'm talking about wholesalers here, and you guys will know better than I, but they'll say, right, we like them fittings, but we want all of these fittings to complement it as well. So you can't just go in there and say, right, I've got a bulkhead that's really, really competitive on price, really, really good features and benefits.
I want the full profile, don't they? They want the full profile.
So, I mean, we're certainly seeing that the solutions that we're providing with Ovia now are just, phenomenal.
What's your other boards?
I've got the standard stuff here. Standard that our best seller when it comes to the moulded stuff. Something that probably not many people know about is the antimicrobial and the antiviral properties.
We've heard this quite a lot, and you've got it as well, have you? Is it inherent in your devices?
Yeah. So it's as it comes. It's not a spray or anything like that.
I understand it's been there for a long time. You just haven't sold it.
Yeah, it's been there for a very long time. It's just trying to get it to market, and we didn't want to really focus on getting off on the back of the COVID situation. We wanted it to be there for a real. I'm not saying that COVID's not a real purpose, but we wanted it to be there for the masses, and not just focusing on that and going, right, we're on the bandwagon now.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's third party accredited. It
has to go through tests.
Yes,
lots of testing. Lifetime of the
lifetime of the products.
Right.
Lifetime of the products. It's not like a spray on technology where more people use it. It depreciates from there, but it's So this is just our most popular white range.
And the other one?
The other one I've got is
it's very exciting. There's been a lot's coming up, do we?
It's just the mini grid range. Some people don't know that not necessarily these particular products, but when we focus on things like 3-gang switches, we can sort of take out the modules in the middle if we want to change it to an intermediate. Not many people know that is a factor of these devices. So it's just more to say that the mini grid ones are there. 20 amp stuff, you want to sort of get down to a single module, you want to go to the Grid Pro. But these are our mini grid ranges. All of the engraving as well is something that we do in-house. Really, really quick turnaround time. You can see that you've got cooker hood there, dishwasher. All the standard stuff that you would normally see in a house is on the shelf as a stock item. But if you want something a bit more bespoke, it's not a major turnaround time. You're not waiting 12 odd weeks. It's sort of 2 to 3 weeks max.
And can that be done individually, the engraving? You
can
specify an individual legend on there.
Yeah, so if you've got your studio at home, Dave,
lovely.
You can have Dave's Mic 1 on there if you really want
I've got Scolmore, a block of 4 switches, Scolmore switches, which were gifted to me some months ago, years ago, in fact. Yes, they'd be nice. I could put desks,
send them back, get them engraved,
keyboards. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Jake, if ever you felt like it. Birthday's coming up,
So what are they about the other businesses then? So we've spoken a little bit about Ovia, we've spoken about Click. Yep. The other 2 businesses, how are they doing?
They're doing really well. ESP, which is the fire and security side of things, we've actually enhanced one of our ranges, which is Click Smart Plus on the Scolmore side, the Click side, which is home automation. But we've now included the Fort range, which looks at security. So we've got an intruder alarm on there. We've got several cameras. We've got doorbells, and it all integrates within the one app, and that's going really well. A lot of people are finding that actually it's one of them products they didn't know they needed. With any of our products online or having some sort of app-based system, there's no subscriptions with them, which again is a fantastic option for a lot of people. A lot of customers like the fact that there's no subscription and not paying that monthly fee, because we mentioned energy prices and all the other prices that are going up. You don't want to pay for them little £5 and £10 here and there. So we felt that to get the most out of our product, we said that we wouldn't put any subscriptions.
Got you.
The base side of things with the fire design and whatnot is going well.
I saw that. So just explain this for us then. So you guys have become registered with BAIF. Now, BAIF, Dave, is really important if you're designing fire alarm systems and they want a BAIF system in. Every part of it needs to be BAIF. So that's the design, the install needs to be done by a BAIF contractor, the commissioning and the service all have to be offered by BAIF individuals or BAIF registered contractors. And so you're providing one part of that, are you not?
Well, we're providing two parts of that, actually. We provide the design side and we provide the commissioning as well. So we've actually got the commissioning off the back of it. As you mentioned, we can sort of offer those services. We don't do the middle bits.
Yeah.
So we don't do the install and we don't do the service agreement. That has to sit behind there as well. But we can offer that as a service, again, which not many people sort of taking advantage of.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if you're out there struggling to get all your quotes and bits and bobs done, it's normally left to a Sunday night when you start to get that paperwork done. Your team are accessible. They can just push that over to your team, can they?
Yeah. And on the commissioning side, I know that you sort of have to use our products for it to
Got you, yeah.
To be able
Makes
to be
perfect sense.
accessed as a service. And then we've got Unicrimp, they're making inroads into wholesalers. A lot of people are picking up the product now. Cable ties, tape, Obi-Wan we have as well.
Obi-Wan is what? What's Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, so it's I'll be mindful of my words here. It's a sealant and adhesive. So it's a grip adhesive that can be used in loads of different locations. Comes in lots of different colours.
Is Mike Jackson still doing that demo with a bowl of water?
He is, yeah.
I don't think I know about that.
He gets a bowl of water, puts a crack in it, and then uses the Obi-Wan to seal it up underwater. And then he's got bricks as well, which he moves around and seals them underwater. Lots of things. There's been a couple of times where it hasn't quite done what it's meant to do. It's user error. It's nothing to do with the product. It's because he hasn't done it properly and he's ended up getting soaked. It's quite good to watch. There's a risk element to it that I like.
and then we've just actually launched a new product within the Unicrimp range, which is the new metal cleats. They've obviously with the driver of the premature collapse of cables, etc.
Yeah.
There's now the metal cleat, and it goes around lots of different size cables. It's similar to all-round banding, but it's more purpose-built.
I got several questions after the last tech talk.
I saw them ask
where they were talking about this premature collapse and how much do you have to take care when it's, say, up against a wall or whatever. It's not likely to entangle somebody. And I very much suggested that just a metal banding every now and again, just to make sure that they don't come down,
and
would most likely conform.
It would.
Yeah.
And you're suggesting now you can move away from that metal banding and use these cleats.
Yeah, you can just use the cleats. Yeah, you need to be mindful of how many cables you're tying up. But if you're just doing, like, let's say, one piece of armoured cable, perfect job for that.
Yeah, great.
And again, they don't need to be used every single time. It's a case of spreading them out and saying, right, okay, look at the length of run that you're dealing with. And go, right, there's probably the need for 2 or 3 or 4 of these metal cleats.
Yeah, not all parts of the run are going to be entangled.
They're not vulnerable. And you can use common sense on that.
So you
really.
can do loads. Well, Jake, look, it's a quick snapshot, and thank you for popping in. We are getting close to our time. Just to understand exactly where Scolmore are going, and they're always changing, they can get hold of a majority of your stuff with us, or the website that you've got is pretty important as well, is it not?
Yeah, so there is some change again. As we say, everything changes at Scolmore. You know, if we can do something better, we'll definitely do it. So the website is changing, but all of our products are on there. There's lots of information about our products via the SGTV as well, which is a YouTube channel that we run.
Good, that one.
So you can go on there. There's lots of information.
Brilliant.
And if they want you to visit, you're not very busy at the minute. So
you could squeeze them in. Yeah. Just ring up and ask for Jake. That's what we did, didn't we?
Yes. Lovely to see you, boy.
Right, from Jake, Dave, and myself, thank you very much for listening to this Tech Talking podcast, and we'll see you at the next one. Take care, everyone.